Hello, Facebook family, YouTube family. We are so excited that we have a book birthday today. So, this is Christina. Christina is a brand new author of Building Strong Writers, our newest book that's just released today. And we are really pumped to hear a little bit about the book, Christina. But first of all, before we get going, if you are joining in on the Facebook Live, we would love it if you drop your name over in the comment section. Tell us who you are, where you're from. We would just love to see who's all in here. I know Dave is in the comments. He is traveling today. He was speaking in Texas alongside Adam Peterson, Christine, and Jessica. So it was a preschool conference there, or preschool, early elementary preschool conference there. And they all just did a banged up job, just an amazing job out there, crushing it. And Dave was the opening keynote. So he's out there in Texas right now, and we don't want his spotty Wi-Fi on our show. So you get me and Christina tonight. I'm your Tara. I'll be your host. So Christina, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, for anybody that's joining in or watching this on the playback that doesn't already know you.
All right. So like you said, my name is Christina, and I'm a high school English teacher. I actually report back in 3 weeks from today for my 15th year in the classroom. And on top of being a full-time high school English teacher, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a new puppy mom. We just rescued a puppy. And I also am the person behind the resources from the Daring English Teacher.
Super exciting. So we met Christina through Instagram and through a couple of our other authors, which is Jenna and Ashley, the Keeping the Wonder girls, two of the co-writers of Keeping the Wonder, and just fell in love with the Daring English Teacher work. If you don't follow the Daring English Teacher on Instagram, you should totally go over there and check it out. Great stuff. And yeah, and then we just was like, oh man, this is good stuff. So when you pitched your book to us, it was just a no-brainer. Like, we knew we got to have this. So Building Strong Writers. Hi, Nick. Welcome. Building Strong Writers. Tell us a little bit about how this came about and why you decided to put it into a book.
All right. So I've always had this idea that I've wanted to write a book. And my passion in the classroom is teaching writing. That's where I'm most confident, I'm most comfortable. And I love seeing students grow, seeing them be in the beginning a little bit intimidated, a little bit tepid. They're not quite sure, and they're definitely not confident in their writing skills. And using all of these strategies and scaffolds that many people might think that, hey, you shouldn't be doing that in high school. They should be done with that. But using these strategies and scaffolds, they really, really help the students grow into strong writers. And then you also see their confidence increase as well with their writing abilities. And that is what I absolutely love in the classroom.
I love that so much. And I'm 100% with you. I've had a son that's gone through high school. He's now 22, but I felt the same way. Like before high school, he was so excited about writing, like in elementary. He had so many great ideas, and teachers, then would just let, I was an elementary teacher. So I know it's like you don't even know what you're reading, honestly, most of the time. But they have a lot of great ideas. And you talk about this in Building Strong Writers, where if they get to this place, if we don't provide the scaffold or we don't provide the structure for them to be able to get past the block that's hindering them, these beautiful ideas, we're never going to see them come to fruition. So tell us a little sneak peek of like one strategy. Like, no, don't go into too much. We don't want to spoil it for them. They got to buy the book, but tell us like maybe one of your favorites that you try to remind people of.
All right. So my absolute favorite strategy, and this is perfect timing because back to school is just right around the corner, is in the beginning of the year, I assign no more than 3 sentences. And that's it. And when I first tell my students, hey, we're going to read this short story, we're going to write a response about it, they moan and they groan. And then I tell them, oh, but it's only 3 sentences. And they almost cheer until they realize just how in-depth and how detailed these 3 sentences are. Like, I kid you not, they will spend the entire class period working on these 3 sentences and revising, and I'm monitoring them, I'm giving them feedback. And these 3 essential sentences basically are the fundamentally building blocks for the essay, for the paragraph. And our first like 2, 3, maybe even 4 writing assignments, they're only 3 sentences long, and I'm looking for very, very specific elements. But once they can demonstrate that they've got those, they're golden, and they use it all year long.
That is amazing. It reminds me a lot of our books, the back of the book, that little piece on the back of the book when you're reading the books in the bookstore and you flip it over. Mm-hmm. That's like the hardest thing to write. And when we have people pitch the book, we'll ask them to send, and you were a part of this, like send us a summary, the working outline, and two working chapters. That little summary that would be the back of the book. I've had prospective authors call us and be like, hey, I'm still stuck on that. Like I cannot for the life. I'm like, just give me something. It's fine. It doesn't need to be 5 sentences. We do 5, but it doesn't need to be 5 sentences. Just like, give me something. But yes, I feel like, when you are trying to pinpoint just the key pieces, it gets you down to, synthesizing like all the themes and just giving us the important stuff. Then you can take that and grow from that. Then it's just a matter of expanding each one of those and growing, right? I love that. So when you were writing Building Strong Writers, writing's your passion, writing's what you teach. When you were writing the book as a writer, how did you feel? Were there any moments where you were like kind of thinking about your students and maybe empathizing just in a different way?
Definitely when I got stuck, or when I was like at like a little bit of a block, I'd be like, okay, this is what they feel in the classroom. This is what they're going through as well. But when I was writing it, I kind of chose which part of it to focus on, whatever I was feeling inspired to write. Although it made me go through the entire school year in my mind, because I'm thinking about all of the different strategies, all of the different scaffolds and tools, and what we do throughout the entire year, and making sure that I included those in there as well. So throughout the writing process, it's almost like I lived an entire school year as I was writing the book.
Oh, fun. Look, can be exhausting since you were teaching at the same exact time.
Yes.
Living the whole school year and teaching it at the same time. So what was your favorite part about the writing process with DBC Inc.?
My favorite part of the writing process, well, one, you and Dave are always such big supports and always so cheerful. So thank you so much for that. Honestly, a lot of my memories, and now that it's summer again, I'm kind of like reliving some of that. I spent a lot of the last summer writing the book, and my kids have a tennis camp that they go to during the mornings, and there's a little cafe. So I would like sit in a little cafe as I was waiting for their tennis camp. And now they're in that same camp. And whenever I walk by that cafe, I'm like, oh, that's where I wrote my book, that chair right there. And so it's in my brain that's where it all happened.
I spent a ton of time in a coffee shop. So I can totally relate. That exact coffee shop, when I pass it in Lawrence, Kansas, I'm like, whew, I spent a lot of hours in there for B-roll. I love that. So thinking about the layout of the book, and for people that are going to purchase the book, what can they expect, and what's it look like, sound like, feel like as they go through the book? And what are you hoping the readers gain from it?
So my hope is that readers and teachers, they can just pick the book up at any given point in the school year and find a strategy that's real, that's actionable, that they can use that day or the very next day in their classroom. So you can approach it that way, where you go through the table of contents, you kind of find what you're working on and what you're struggling with, and you read maybe the chapter about peer editing, or you read the chapter about sentence frames, or because again, back to school, it's perfect timing right now. Maybe you kind of start from the beginning, and because it kind of works its way through it naturally progresses. Maybe you work through it with your school year, the entire year, so that you have these new strategies to use to make yourself feel more confident as a writing teacher, but then also to really empower your students as well.
I love that. And so can you see like maybe an ELA team like grouping up and doing a book study on this book at the onset of school?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I can see them maybe like dividing and conquering the chapters, and each summarizing key points and kind of reteaching their team. or going through some of the chapters at the same time and finding things that they can use, new tools, new strategies for the classroom that will work for them this school year.
Awesome. So if you could have your dream come true for this book to do the thing that you've been wanting to do for the whole world, all students, what would that be and why?
My dream for this would be that teachers might let go of some reservations about using word banks or sentence starters or sentence frames or even color coding. Like, let go of those reservations, even if you teach seniors, because these strategies help our students. They are filled with so many ideas. They have the ideas. They just need help academically. There you go. Academically writing and putting their ideas on paper. And so, yeah, letting those reservations go.
That's awesome. Honey was really agreeing with that.
I'm glad she agreed.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. I was about to have Dave jump in there. She's adamant on something. Well, we are so super. This girl never barks. I'm like, what is happening?
He likes the book.
We are so excited about building strong writers. And I agree with you. I think there's so many strategies that we forget about, or, like even just in general, like movement in the classroom, any little thing, teaching strategies that worked so good back when students were younger. Well, they're still young. They're just bigger. And honestly, some of the ones you were talking about, like highlighting and that's stuff that we use as writers. Mm-hmm. I mean, I work with writers every day, all the time. I'm constantly, if we're stuck, or especially working on like picture book, anything where we're trying to get a small amount of words, like let's go through and see what we can leave out or join up. There's so many different old strategies that still work in our adult lives, or in all different areas of life when it comes to any skill, but especially writing. I'm really excited about seeing maybe more students too just get excited about writing. I feel like it's not a lost art, but I feel like a lot of students are just so into like videography and some of the more technical technology driven skills, which I also really love. But I'm excited that if we truly build strong writers, it's great for a publishing company anyway. I mean, I'm not thinking about our business, but kind of. But also, I love to read, and I would love more students to be leaving high school and thinking, wow, that's on their bucket list. It was on my bucket list as an 18-year-old. So it's just kind of cool to think that your book could change the minds of teachers and then change the hearts and minds of students, and maybe truly build a lot more writers out there.
Yeah, that would be amazing, because writing is such a powerful communication medium, and it's therapeutic. It helps us work out our thoughts. We develop our critical thinking skills through writing, and it's all so important that students kind of like sit, and even the struggle with writing is important, because that helps us grow as writers as well.
I agree. I journal every single day. And so one of the things my therapist will talk to me, sometimes she's the only person I've ever shown parts and pieces of my journal, but sometimes she'll ask me like, let's pull up your journal, because it's digital. Like, tell me a little bit about some things that have been happening, because it helps me to put the thoughts down. And then later when I visit with her, I can relive that or talk about how I overcame that. Like, I'll read something, I'm like, that isn't even a bother anymore. It's kind of great to see your growth over time. It's another way to document your life, or document, like you said, your thoughts. And I love the idea that you said that struggling, and I think this is important to teach kids too. And I'm sure you talk about this in building strong writers, but the struggle is so good for us, because in life, there's always going to be struggles. So if you learn how to like push your way through it and express yourself on the other side, that just transfers over into so many things that we do.
Yeah, definitely. It really does.
Awesome. Well, Christina, anything else you want to share with the crew? I know I promised you I would keep this one short and sweet. She has a puppy, a brand new puppy, and we're hoping puppy stays for nap the whole time. And
Yes.
obviously mine disturbed the peace. Mine disturbed the peace today, which Dave called that before the show even started. Anyways, we are so excited, but I was wondering if there was anything else you want to share with our readers out there. A lot of people will watch this on the playback. And so just if there's anything else you want to share, I'll give you the floor.
All right. So in the book, off the top of my head, I don't know what chapter it's in, but there's a QR code to scan. It takes you to a folder where there is a PDF version and then also a Google Doc version if you want to edit it. So if you've got the book, you want to scan that QR code, you want to go to that Google folder, and you want to print out that paper for your students on like the most annoying bright color paper. Tell them to never lose it. They're going to use it this year, next year, and the year after, because it's going to really, really make embedding quotes, which is the second sentence in that 3-sentence strategy. Mm-hmm. It's going to make embedding quotes so much easier and almost, I'm not going to say pain-free, but almost pain-free.
Oh, I'm excited. It's kind of like a little mystery. Now I want to buy the book just to figure out this QR code. Like, what is this thing? Mm-hmm. So if we have some younger writers in here, younger teachers thinking about the book, what age span do you feel like this will work really well for building strong writers?
For like teachers in their grade levels?
Yes.
I would say, and now I'm definitely more confident with this because I have only taught high school, but my son is going into 7th grade. So I would say 5th to 12th.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I agree. I think you're right. And like you said, there's so many of these strategies we do use in the younger grades. Mm-hmm. And you're saying, like, you're reminding the secondary teachers, like, hey,
yeah,
don't forget,
like
this still works. Yeah, that was a nice hook, right, Nick? Nice hook. Now I gotta have it. So if you have not picked up Building Strong Writers, please do so. If they want to follow you on social media, we talked a little bit about that earlier with the Daring English Teacher is your handle on Instagram. Do you have any other social medias that you would recommend?
I mean, I have a Facebook and a Twitter or an X form. But Instagram is where I'm at usually. If you're on Facebook, I do have a Facebook group and it's growing. It's got several thousand educators in there and people post questions and answer questions. And it's just like a great little community, especially if you are at a smaller school and you don't have, like, for me, I've got 20 other English teachers at my site. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice to be able to bounce ideas off. But I know some people work at smaller schools and you might be the only English teacher. So check out the Facebook group. It's the Secondary ELA Lounge.
Secondary ELA Lounge.
Yes.
Dave to pull that up while we're talking.
Something like that. But yeah, Instagram is where I'm mostly at.
ELA Lounge. Oh, okay, I got it. I got a link for us. I'll drop that over in the comments section. Well, we are excited. We're so excited that you are part of our team. Welcome to the DVC family. We're so happy that you're here. And we are really excited that if any of you guys pick up the book and read the book, find some great ideas that's working really well for you, tag us, tag Christina. She's so quick to respond on Instagram. Share with us what's happening in your school system and how the kids are responding, because it's just so exciting as authors to be able to hear from, we know a lot of people read our books and a lot of people use it and make it happen in their classroom, but sometimes we don't get to hear from you guys. So be sure and share with us. It's always exciting. And then Christina's going to be getting her book soon. So I'll be looking for an unboxing video. I think that's one of my favorite things for new authors.
It says tomorrow by 10, but that's really late. So
Maybe the next day.
Yeah, maybe the next day.
Record it and then post it the next day. Well, don't record. Like, I always feel bad when it finally comes in and I'm like, oh man, I'm in jammies. I don't want to wait till tomorrow.
It'll honestly depend on the puppy. I mean, if she's been out and she's ready to go down for bed, it'll wait, because we're trying to stretch those hours in the middle of the night.
Christina is much like me when it comes to puppy training. We learned that earlier in the live, before in the backstage, and Dave was freaking out that there were two of us. Remember when Honey was on a very strict schedule? Christina does the same thing. I love it. It's a good teacher. It's our teacher mind, I think.
I'm trying to get her ready for back to school, because I'm going to be gone. My kids are going to be gone. And so like, she's got to have the schedule.
She's got to be prepared for it.
Building strong writers and building strong puppies.
There we go. That's the next book. I want to help you. We're going to co-author it, Dave. You ready for this? Building strong puppies.
Like, no.
Well, everyone, we thank you so much for joining us. We don't want to keep you on your summer night. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Christina, so proud of you. So excited. Happy book birthday. This book is crushing on Amazon, by the way. If you guys haven't gone and looked at the stats, you should go check it out. It's wild. And if you haven't ordered yours yet, do so. Dave's rejecting our book. It's okay. I'm celebrating right now. We'll think about that later. So we are so excited. If you pick up your book, be sure and tag us, share some great insights, the parts and pieces. It sounds like the greatest thing about this book is you can find the parts, like what you're working on. You don't necessarily have to read it front to back. You can find what you're working on and grab those strategies and use them right away. So have an awesome, what day are we? Tuesday. Have an awesome Tuesday. I'm usually on a Thursday night live. I almost said that. Have an awesome Tuesday, everyone, and happy book birthday, Christina.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.